Do 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 do. Ha ha. La 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 la. Ha ha ha. Lady ho. Hey, Elaine, Marolakos Edelson. With Astrology Mojo, transformational astrology, as a modern mystic, I want to pass along to you that every single moment is your opportunity for healing. Yeah. And remember, folks, that the planets, let me just say hello in the chat room. Hi, folks. That the planets don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when you make a move, well, when the planets make a move, you feel it, but when you make a move, it's reflected by way of aspects and angles in astrology. That's really all we're talking about. You know, astrology basically tells you what time it is, what you do with your power, your intuition, your compassion, what you do in the time that you have is up to you, and it's all a choice, okay? You know, people talk about fate and free will. Well, if you believe it's fated, you know, you may have a destination at some point, but it's up to you how you get there. You know, destiny does not mean written in stone. It simply means spirit's destination. So, how do you want to get there? That's the question, isn't it? That's the question. So, you know, when I move energy, I use a lot of stuff. I have crystals. I have lots of cards. I meditate. I chant. I am observant of my own BS, and when it's active, and do myself a favor and pull it back, and do my best to be absolutely so much more authentic, so that when someone enters my world, I was talking about this with someone yesterday, that when, oh, hey, Pamela's here, hi. So that when someone enters my world, all my, you know, my sonar, it's all out there. And I'm waiting, I'm listening, I'm experiencing what's happening. And if someone is not authentic, they are not welcome in my little circle. And, you know, it's not a negative judgment. It's just, hey, you know, my energy is precious. Hey, Ronnie's here. Hey, hello. So we have a Taurus, we have a Gemini, we have another Taurus, got a Cancer. Come say hello to me. Tell me what your sign is. And we're going to be talking about Jupiter and Venus having a little dance together this month and how exciting that will be for you. I'm talking about it in advance so you can prepare. And that's the whole point. You know, I did pull a rune for people prior to this, and I got Ansu's. The runes are very old, Celtic tradition, Nordic tradition. This is Ansu's, and this is reversed. This is the way it actually is designed to be, and then this is the reversed rune. All right, and what it means is signals, messenger. It's associated with the Norse god Loki, who was a trickster. And when it shows up in reverse, really, when it shows up regular, it's inviting you to explore the depths of your being with authenticity. And when it shows up in reverse, it's asking you to not be so thwarted by delays or misinformation. Aren't we, you know, in a Mercury in retrograde? Yes, we are. And that sense of futility or wasted motion, like I just did all this work and then they said, no, they don't want it. What the heck? You know, so it's things like that. Don't be dismayed by things that may feel like a lack of communication, because anything that brings up your judgments, this is a perfect rune reversed on Ansu's reversed. Oh, whoops. Wait a minute. Is that focused? Yeah. Ansu's reversed for a Mercury in retrograde, because it's all about communication and feeling deceived to some degree. If you are feeling deceived, you want to ask yourself, well, was your sonar working? Were you in a place of naivety where you just thought, oh yeah, everybody's so kind, and you know, I'll get what I need and it's all good. And that, that's a beautiful place to be, but also you got to have boundaries intact so that when someone does make a move, you have to ask them, yeah, I'm not sure why you did or said that, or didn't do or didn't say what I needed you to. And can we talk about that? And if the person is not willing to, then they don't resonate your vibe or your frequency. So our whole job really is to be as fluid as possible with our frequency and to up that vibe, so you can say to someone, hey, go up your vibe, man. I don't need dishonesty in my life. So if you're tricking yourself into believing, it's called false assuredness. If you're tricking yourself into believing that everything's really great when it's not, and that they have your best interests at heart when they don't, then that's a time of awakening. And what are the best possible uses of adversity in your life? Big question mark, right? What is it? Come say hello to me, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here. We're talking about Jupiter conjuncting Venus. And astrologically speaking and energetically speaking, just remember, folks, the planets are not doing anything to you. This is all, we live in particles and waves. That's what they are. So when, in science and biology, I think it's called the Browning movement. When one cell bumps into another cell, then it bumps into the next one and so on and so on. And it creates a kind of a pattern or a chaos. But you're a conscious being. What do you want to do with that energy? What do you want to do with that conscious chaos? I say, have chaos over for a cup of tea, straighten things out, and move along. That's what I say. Oh my gosh. Well, we're getting close to the holidays, aren't we? By the way, I'm in Rivendell. The fairies have invited me for tea. And I'm loving that chill in the air. I wish it would be actually colder because I want it to be the holidays all the time. Not for presents, no, just for presence of mind. Just for the happiness that I feel and have felt throughout my life. Okay, so who's here? Come say hello. Come say hey to me. I am here just to pass it along. If you're new to me, I am here on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, unless there's some other pressing thing. And 10:30 now Arizona Mountain Time, 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern, 5:30 Greenwich Mean Time. So I'm here. And hi, Cindy. And we're going to be pulling some cards. Let me show you actually what this looks like. Hey, look at that. It just suddenly appeared in the magic portal. So as you can see, if you're not familiar with the legends and the glyphs in astrology, I can point it out down in the lower quadrant when you see that whole lineup of planets. There's Jupiter. It looks like the number 4. It's in green. Venus is in pink in Sagittarius right now. And on the beginning around the 18th, things don't stop or begin on a dime in the universe, but around the 17th, 18th of November through the 30th of November, Jupiter will be what's called conjoined or conjunct, and that is within 8 degrees, but especially around November 23rd, 24th, and 25th, we will have an exact conjunction. So let's talk a little bit about what Jupiter represents, not does to you, okay? And what about what Venus represents, not does to you, because we still have that lineup of South Node in Capricorn right next to it with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So a lot of people are feeling like the SH blank blank is getting kicked out of them. And they're fine. They're just staying above water, just staying afloat. Ha, 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 ha. No, I will never sing the Bee Gees. Okay. Well, maybe in a party mode. Karaoke? I don't know. I've done karaoke before and I actually won I was on a ship and I won like a little plastic ship to say, good job, 3rd place. I sang Alanis Morissette. Okay, so Jupiter represents, and let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you can see what we're talking about. Woo! Wow. So Cindy says, Sun and Moon in Taurus, Cap rising, you're all Earth. You're all Earth. So there's Jupiter, and there, you know what? Let me see if I can move this over so it's not so overwhelming, and then I will go over here. Ta-da! There we go. Let me just scoot over, bring my mic with me. There, see that? Sun is in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in Sagittarius. Wherever the sun is in astrology, that's the focus. Oftentimes it's an active focus, masculine principle of active focus. It doesn't have to be a man, but if it shows up somewhere in your chart right on another planet, you can bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Yeah, the sun. Jupiter represents expansion, benevolence, indulgence, publishing, travel, foreign matters, and also, hey, Becky's here, and it also represents the jocularity is the word that's coming, the generosity of spirit. Jupiter does represent this. Now, Jupiter in Sagittarius is a natural placement because Jupiter is the planet that guides the planet Sagittarius. So when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, Sagittarius sun, rising, and moon signs, they get a dose of big. They get a dose of, what do you want now? They get a dose of, oh my gosh, I just got an offer to fill in the blank. Or if they're on a negative trajectory, then that gets bigger. If they keep eating the sugar and the carbs, then they get bigger. If they keep feeding the cynicism, then that gets bigger. Okay? So it doesn't really matter what gets bigger. The expansion is up to your consciousness. So when Jupiter is in Sagittarius and now conjuncting Venus, Venus represents, I want to say, truth, justice, and the American way. It really relates to beauty, art, protection. Protection as in legal protection, as in financial protection, as in, it can be represent a stubborn energy because it guides the planets, the signs of Taurus and Libra. But it also deals with food and sensuality and things that feel really good and pleasure. So when we put Jupiter, that old happy fella of expansion, next to pleasure, oh boy, what's one more bag of chips? Come on, it's the holidays. What's one ton of sugar cookies? Come on, I dieted all year, I deserve it. You know, so we have to be careful. We have to be really careful because the judgments come like, hey, I deserve it. That's where the judgments come from. It's like deservability. I deserve it. I deserve that bottle of wine. Man, I had a rough year, rough month, rough week, rough conversation. Of course you deserve. You deserve because you exist. But let's not go to confirmation bias, right? Yeah, it's when there's point A and point B. Point A and point B, and you put stuff on it in the middle to connect the dots when they don't really belong together, just because you want it to be that way. Yeah, I saw, a long time ago, I forget what show it was on. It was like, yeah, chocolate cake for breakfast? Well, why not? It's got wholesome flour. It's got eggs. It's got milk. That's a breakfast. Yeah, but cake, come on, chocolate cake. So this is what we're talking about. So Shada says, yes, why does everyone jump for justice? It's about flow peacefully. Yeah, let's jump for justice. That sounds like a movement. Okay, hi, I'm your spokesperson, Shada, and we're going to jump for justice today. Jump for justice. I love that. So, all right, I'm going to reduce this panel here because it's so big and I'm sitting crooked on my chair. It's uncomfortable. All right. So when Jupiter expands, like my waist at Christmas time, scoot, scoot, scoot. When Jupiter, that represents expansion, moves into that erogenous zone of Venus in Sagittarius, that's when you get the travel bug. That's when you say, yeah, I don't mind. I'll drive 6 hours to pick you up from an airport that's in another state. Come on, it'll be fun. And that's okay. Just, whatever you choose to do is awesome. But when it comes down to actually utilizing this energy for your best and highest, I want you to get really calm. Now, we're talking about this ahead of time. November 17th, 18th through the rest of the month. That's through Thanksgiving. Watch those indulgences. I'm serious, because you're going to find a way to justify them, and they're not going to work for you. They really won't. So, but the way to utilize this energy is to bring about a sense of, where is my greatest joy? What is my passion? How can I, involve myself? And possibly Venus can represent non-gender, or non-specific gender, but can lean more toward the feminine side of something. And that can mean maybe there's a woman in your life who is a Sag, sun, rising, or moon, who comes in, or maybe it's you, representational of, really wanting to expand on what your joys and passions are. And this can be the time where you focus. Now, I know it's a Mercury in retrograde, but this can be the time where you focus on that thing that you really love to do, the thing that you really want to bring out of yourself in a more coherent way. Maybe you want to travel, work, volunteer in your town, do something more culturally aware, visit those museums, maybe take an art class, continue writing. Maybe you need a group, because Jupiter expands through people and cultures. And again, it's not the planet, it's the concept in you, because we are made up of all the same stuff. You, me, and everybody else. People you like or don't like, it doesn't matter. We're made up of all the same stuff, and that's energy. So when you increase your flow of energy and you raise your vibration, what you do is you bring to the forefront and the focus, and I'm just going to get rid of this now. What you do is you bring to the forefront and the focus your beingness and your frequency. So if you really want to up your vibe during this period of the rest of this month, start now. Don't wait till November 17th. It doesn't stop or start on a dime, because you could have Venus right now on your ascendant. You might have Venus on your moon. You might have Venus on your Jupiter. So as you look at things, I think it's important that you see what your truth is and what really gives you joy, and use that enthusiasm. And it is a word that literally means deity on the inside. That's why I love this word. Deity on the inside. It is not outside of you. Everything is contained in here, body, mind, spirit. And, you see the delineation of space between me and you, and you think, oh, that's another person. Yeah, but what you do affects me. Just saying. I'm going to pull a card. Do you get that? Is that right? Yes. Look at all the yin yang symbols. Okay. By the way, I also write historical fiction fantasy. And for my first book, Aries Fire, actually my whole line is a soul's epic journey through 12 lifetimes. And so it's going to be dedicated to each of the astrological signs. So in the second book, 10 Steps of the Bull for Taurus, it takes place in 6th century Japan and Korea, about the first empress of Japan, who was a Buddhist nun with 5 kids, and she didn't want to be the empress, but she was the exact correct person to become the empress, because anyway, she didn't want it. So, but what we learn in the book, and what I researched, it blew my mind, is that the yin yang symbol is actually made up to be a clock. It's a timepiece. And it depending on how it's situated and which way you turn it, north, south, east, and west, right? It's a timepiece. So when is it time? That's when you look at timing for things, what is the most natural timing for? We're in a Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio. And if you have stuff coming up, and lately for me, it's just been, I'm bubbly, I'm giddy, I'm punchy, I'm laughing. We're watching more comedy. And my husband there's no such thing as a former stand-up, because if you're a stand-up, you're a stand-up. And I'm a latent, suppressed stand-up. So, we're just looking for more things that entertain us, that make us feel happy in this time frame. Now, other people are faced with tragedy right now, or loss and grief, and that does not make it a happy time for them. But no matter what the timing is, just like our little friend here, Anne Suze, says, how do you make the best use of adversity? That is the question. If you're just joining us, come say hello. I'm talking about Jupiter conjoined or conjunct Venus in Sagittarius. And then Venus is going to move into Capricorn. And I am so happy. I'm so happy. Because I'm a Capricorn rising. And so that means that I made myself so warm now. Oh, I do declare. I need a mint julep. I think I'm having a hot flash. Venus in Capricorn is just... okay, let's get down to business. You have everything you need. This is going to work. The sky's no limit. Go for it. And that's for the earth signs. But right now it's in a fire sign. So make use of the time that you have. Gandalf said it. Tolkien. Which, by the way, is a very good movie. All right, I'm going to see what's going on here in the chat room. Me too, LOL. I'm going to flip some cards around. I'm here Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Spread the word. Let people know. We are going to be uploading some more of the videos now that Dean's back in town. My honey's home. Yay. We're going to put them up on YouTube so you can be, in case you missed them and you didn't get them here, you can go watch them on YouTube. Awesome. How is everyone doing? Come say hello. What's going on for people? What's going on in your world? Oopsie. Time for a sip from the fairy portal of Rivendell. There were 9 set out from Rivendell. Flipped out, man. They flipped out like, hurry up. We want you to read us. Oh. Okay, let's talk about this. Gender. Let's get into that one. And cause and effect. Okay, so we have 2 cards that the universe wanted you to see. Cause and effect and gender. Now, how many people are under the impression, however true or false it might be, that... because you were born a certain specific gender, that you have to bear the brunt, it's your job, it's the way it is, women have always been, men are always. We want to look at your specific gender and your gender biases. Because if you met someone who is very effeminate and they're a woman, you go... she's so sweet. She's such a pushover. Oh my God. If she wears any more perfume, I don't know. But if you met a very effeminate man who was not gay, what would be the bias? What would be the judgment? It's like, no, he's gay. He just doesn't know it. Yeah. And so then you create this thing in your head. What's the movie, Dean? Friends with Money. Okay. Love this movie. Frances McDormand, one of my favorite actresses, who is a Capricorn, by the way, is married to a guy, and I forget his name. He's a British actor, and he's very soft. And he's at home raising the kid. She's the power woman, and she's out there doing her thing, going through menopause and having fits, fits of whatever. And, he's buying socks, and all their friends get together for dinner and just like, yeah, he's gay. He just doesn't know it. It's a very hysterical scene. in the movie, and the whole concept. But this is about, the gender is about practicing a harmonious approach to both masculine and feminine. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or gender non-specific. It doesn't matter. Or trans. It doesn't matter. It's at what point in time do you feel? Are you allowing yourself to feel? Are you allowing yourself to express? Okay? At what point in time are you afraid to move forward because you have the belief that I don't know enough, I'm not enough, oh please, that's never going to happen, or they won't pick me, all the not enoughs come up in both genders. And just let's wipe out the idea of gender and move into that place of assertion. I'm going to assert myself. Doesn't matter who I am, how I was raised, or if I have breasts or a penis. This is me. This is me. What's that in The Showman? Is that the name of the movie? I just love that song. This is me. So with cause and effect, now that's an interesting combination, because once you get a grip on harmonizing a routine of I'm still, I'm quiet, I'm receptive, I wait for the moment that feels ideal. Then I express, I act on, and I act as if. Okay, so when you have that going on first, then it's important to go back in time, because anything you've done previously is still in motion. Every thought you've ever thought, every action you took or inaction that you regretted not taking throughout time, not just today, this week, this lifetime. This is across beliefs, across time, spanning time, space, dimensions, planes of existence, karma. Okay? I want you to understand that you are bigger than you think you are. And with that bigness comes a responsibility to be as present as possible. And that's it. We're all going to go through ups and downs, waves and particles. It's like, this is what it is. And then, you go with the flow. And then this is what it is. And then you go with the flow. Okay? Does that make sense? So with cause and effect, I want you to look at something that you do, a behavior that you have that does not benefit you. And I want you to trace it back. And I'll say to my friends, and I spoke with someone not too long ago, and I think I talked about this in one of the previous shows, where, okay, she asked me a question. She said, I'm having this issue, and this person bothers me. And I said, well, okay, let's take that person's face and name away. When is the last time you felt this way? She went, I didn't. I haven't. So, okay, so I'm feeling resistance because we're relatively acquaintances, new acquaintances, not close friends or associates. And I say, okay, so then I work my way around it with compassion, because she came to me. She's asking me the question, and then she puts up the stop sign. It's like, okay. So we jibber jabber, talk, cause and effect. And I go, okay, so if you've never felt this feeling before, what really bothers you? Give me 3 things. 3 things about this person that really bother you. Behaviors. I want you to do this too. Write this down about anything in your life that bothers you, that's consistently bothering you. That person, every time I see her at Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. My sister, my best friend, my blah, blah. My employee, my employer, my coworker, anybody that is consistent. Because we're going to span across times and planes of existence. When is the last time you felt this way? Pick 3 behaviors. They are negative behaviors. They are, and really distill it down, narrow it down. They're invasive. They are emotionally absent. They are unavailable. They are whatever. Just pick the 3 things, right? And so when I did that with this woman and we narrowed it down to 3 things, and I said, okay, now we're taking away her face, her name, those 3 behaviors. And then, of course, I picked up something and I said, so let's go back to when you were 6. I said, who exemplified those behaviors? And she went, oh, yeah, that was my mom. I'm like, okay, so when's the last time you felt this way? And she went, oh, God, all my life. And I was like, ta-da. So you want to get that ding-dong experience, right? Yeah, because it's going to help you. And the more you're willing to go to that place, the faster you start to release these and burn off cellular memory that is not just from this lifetime. Please understand that you have, you bring it in. You bring it in, you live it, you relive it, you relive it, you relive it, and then you take it out with you. So let's just erase it now. I don't have an eraser, but if I had a magic eraser, I would do that for you. Not my job, not my circus, not my monkeys. That's a Polish phrase. Okay, Audra, hi, you're never late. You're kind of lost. Join the human race. It's okay. You're not late. You're always on time. Think of it that way. It's your timing. Focus on how you feel. Write it down. Make a journal every night. 1 paragraph, 1 little paragraph. Today, dear journal, dear diary, today I felt crappy. Today I felt invalidated. Today I felt... So I want you to name these things. Name them. Because they're like, we create these emotions and then we treat them like bastards. And then we ignore them. Nah, it's okay. It's fine. That's what they do. Whatever. Yeah. No whatevers. No. Whatevers get you feeling lost. Whatever turns the light off on top of the map. If you've got a Marauder's map, and I have a Harry Potter wand, I could tell you, I've used my map. You can get to where you want to go without the struggle. At least let's minimize it and start to feel that power. Start to feel that power that you are, that you were born with, that you deserve. All right, I'm going to pull 1 more card for the group. Let me just check in with people. I've been studying my chart in depth, and to be honest, I feel doomed. Honey, what is your sun sign and your rising sign? You have Capricorn in you? Because if you've got Pluto, if you've got Capricorn in you, that's the soul's definition of wake up. Some of my favorite lines in movies have to do with people saying, it's time to wake up now. Honestly. What's your sun, rising, and moon sign, Audra? Now, for anyone who's feeling lost, I'm going to ask angels right now. Angels, light workers, light beings, starseed, my medical assist team from Arcturus, Andromeda, Sirian, Pleiades, all my squad. Come join us. Come help us today. I got a new deck coming. Actually, I asked for 2 separate decks for Christmas. I'm so excited. So we're going to play with cards a lot more. Okay. Ronnie says, I have no water in my natal chart. But everybody has a secondary chart. So I bet you do have water. And everybody who has a chart has water in their chart. You may not have a planetary placement in water, but you have a chart. And on the cusp of some house in your chart, you have Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. But no planetary placement. You see, say Capricorn Venus, well, honey, you're going to start chanting like the happy dance song, because starting at the end of the month, Venus moves into Capricorn. And it's not because the planets are doing it to you, please. That's my chant, my rant. Okay? It means you were born with the stubborn refusal to love yourself. So if that's your life lesson, then when Venus moves into Capricorn, you have an adjustment period. of about 6 weeks to turn that around in your brain. So every day you look in that mirror and you go, you know what? I love you. I love you. Even though behind you, in the back of your brain, you're yelling, oh, F you. Screw you. No, I don't. Just keep talking louder and louder and louder into that mirror. I love you, no matter what. I love you because your matter is divine. Audra, I love you. No matter what you do, who you are. I love who you are. I love me. I love you. It's not going to sound authentic at first, but you stick with it and you're creating neurons. Everybody, if you've got an issue with anything, you've heard me before, this is the chant. You have neurons in your brain and they have electrical output. They run by electricity. And so every time you say, I'm not enough, you give birth to a neuron that repeats the same chant over and over and over again. Eventually it builds community, and that community is screaming outside your window. It's like a drone chant. You're nothing. You're lost. It will never happen. What's the point? Okay? So then it's up to you, conscious you, to turn it around and say, I am me. I am divine. I am purposeful. I am present in as many moments as possible. I up my frequency. Thank you, universe. I am so grateful for you. You need to switch it in the moment. Switch it, switch it, switch it. Oh, for the first time, and I think in forever, no song just came into my head. It was total blank. Now that I've had a nap, I'm going to pull a card. Does that make sense? Oh, well, okay. I'm going to speak to anyone right now who has Venus in retrograde. And I know a lot of people who do. Venus is going retrograde next May. And I'm going to be doing a whole series of charts in April that are going to be huge. And Venus comes back around 5 times. It hits 5 points. It makes a 5-pointed star. I'm so excited about doing this type of reading. And it'll hit the same things each time throughout your life. It makes a 5-pointed star. And if you're born with a Venus in retrograde, you're born thinking, I am nothing. And then you have to start building from there. And then it's always 2 steps forward, 18 steps back. 6 steps forward, 22 steps back. So Venus in retrograde, your whole lesson is to really understand what love is. And it's not outside of you, honey. It's not. I appreciate you. And if you've never heard this before, and I'm talking to anybody, whether this is in a hashtag replay, or I'm talking to you, Audra, alone, or I'm talking to somebody else who has a Venus retrograde, you are so worth it. You are so worth it. I get the chills. I'm so excited that you're here on this planet because you're going to help us make this world a better place. Thank you for being you. All right, a card now before I go. I have a reading this afternoon, got to prepare for. Oh, and I'll be posting some special holiday reading opportunities. It's a busy time, but I'm going to squeeze in at least 5, maybe 6. All right. Thank you, universe, for bringing us the message for today. And here we are. Good one. Especially, I'd say this to everyone with a Venus retrograde, a Taurus sun rising moon, or Libra sun rising moon. But this is for everyone. The universe is giving us allowing. Okay. You're great at doing. You're great at giving. Maybe not so great at receiving, but those are verbs. Allowing is not a verb, believe it or not. In the metaphysical world, allowing. What can you allow right now? So saith the universe and the cosmos, star seeds, angels helping you to realize that allowing simply means to let it be what it is while you are focused on transforming it. Okay? So there's no verb needed, necessary. Batteries not included. Okay. Does that make sense? Hello, hello. Hi, Deborah's here. Taurus, thinking of you, sent you some energy during your trying time. You love my videos. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Audra, it's up to you. You can turn it around. Everyone else, we're going to allow. Everyone, we're going to allow for life to be what it is, to treat our bodies like temples, to eat food, because without the biology is going to is going to help to determine that meter, whether you get depressed, anxious, or whether you start to feel calmer. Biology comes first. Feed it, nurture it, give it what it needs, nutrients, get rid of the sugar, all the things that depress or bring you down, and then focus on changing that moment in a very simple, allowing way. I am who I am. And that moment will change to the next moment, and then the next moment, and then the next moment, and so on and so on and so on. Before you know it, everybody's had the greatest shampoo of their lives, and they're all having great hair days. Okay. Be well. I wish you peace. Oh, Carol asks, where do we find out if we were born with the Venus retrograde? Okay, you will look in your chart, and you will see Venus, and if you see a little red R with an X in it, that's a retrograde. Thank you for being sparkly. Be present. Remember, as you up your vibe, everybody else simultaneously comes up with you. Please, we need it. All right, I'll see you again on, what is today? I'll see you on Saturday. All right, be well. Bye.